tonight on my live, so I kind of wanted to give you an idea. You really can't see it real well, but the design is already on in my cut and scan. Now with this, you have to give it enough room because this vinyl, this sign that holds the vinyl will come back out the other end, okay? Now, I'll give you a picture of what I've done so far, okay? I don't know if you can see that, but I've already separated the design according to the colors because I'm going to place those colors on the mat where I want them to be separate. Sorry, this was kind of like a last minute. You guys have been asking. It's time to get it done. So, alright. So, these are made up at 1-inch blocks. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to count the number of blocks on my screen and then put the colors according to where I want them cut out on the cut and scan. Now, it's showing me that the wording is in the 6-inch by 5-inch. So I'm going to put a square here that's 6-inch by 5-inch, and that's going to cut it out where I want it. So I think I'll use my ruler for that. Alright, so we're going down 5, and we're cutting across 6. Part of the sign, the wording I want black because I want it to show. I don't want to go much past 6 inches because that's where my Cardinal starts. I've had a lot of people asking for a Cardinal wreath because it usually means there's a loved one around. So, and with Dawn doing the Cardinal on her sign, or on her live last week, I had a couple people ask for a Cardinal class already. So, alright. And my mat, I have to order a new one. It's not as tacky as it should be, so this could be a problem. I may have to run up and get some tape. I'm going to grab some Scotch tape to hold it in place. So just bear with me a second. Sorry about that. I ordered a new mat, but of course it hasn't come in yet. And see, with these mats, I don't know about the Cricut, but with the cut and scan, you can use a non-alcoholic baby wipe on it. Alright, that's just because it's clear, because the machine reads all the little shapes on there. So I needed it to be clear. And this vinyl is, the black is not a really good vinyl, so I'll have to cut it twice. Alright, then it shows me that my Cardinal is around 4 by 2. So we'll cut out a 4 by 2. No, it's 2 inches down by 4. So I'm going a little further than I have to. Okay, so down just a little bit further than I need to be. And granted, if you have a new machine with good stick on your mat, you won't have to do this. Alright, so that's where I want it to be. Then the computer is showing me that, let's see, the grids are hard to see with the light. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 6. So about a 3 by 6 piece of the brown. Probably going to stay. This is a really quiet machine. That's one of the reasons I bought it. And because I have a 10 needle embroidery machine by Brother. So this is compatible with that. I'm supposed to be able to scan designs and transfer them into stitches. Now what I did was I took a piece of a board that I had and I Mod Podged some scrapbook paper to it. So that's where my design is going to end up. Alright, so now all I have to do is say OK, and it's asking me please select. I'm going to push cut, and then I'm going to push start. Now it's telling me it's going to take 4 minutes, but like I said, what I love about this is it's quiet. I can talk when it's cutting. You should be able to hear me. Oh crap. Okay, stop, stop, stop. Stop. Quit cutting. It already it already moved my red piece. So we're going to cut out another one. I was hoping my new mat would be here by now, but you know how that is. When you need it, it's not here. So, looks like we're going to have to tape it all down. This was the original mat I got with the machine. So that's why it's giving me trouble. So I'll just have to tape all the pieces in place to keep them from moving. There we go. And I don't advise that you do this, but this calls for drastic measures since it didn't arrive in time. Alright, so now we're going to go back and try it again. Please select, cut, and start. One thing I learned the hard way when I got my machine is that you have to have what's called transfer paper. Now, some people use contact paper. Other people use transfer tape. And all transfer tape is kind of like a lightweight contact paper. So the Dollar Tree sells contact paper. Like this. Okay, in a roll. And this is called transfer tape. And what I'm going to do when I weed the design, and by weeding you're pulling out the pieces that you don't want and leaving the pieces that you do want. Okay, this is what I use for weeding. I buy all my vinyl from 651. This is just a little hook-like tool, okay, that I'm going to use to pull off the pieces I don't want. When I get everything cut, which I'm going to cut it a second time because I need to replace my cutter. Now, if it was just the brown and the red, I wouldn't cut it a second time. But this black is from a different company, and I'm not liking the quality. It doesn't cut as well as the others do. So when it's done, I'm going to just have it cut again a second time, and by cutting it a second time, it actually allows me to just pull off the excess paper I'm not going to use. So what will happen is, what will be left is just the design that I'm going to be putting on my board. What happens with this, it's just kind of like sticker. We've got a clear side. Well, it's not clear, it's kind of opaque. But what you're doing is you're actually lifting off the top layer, which you're going to use that layer to grab your design. Once you have your design, then you will be placing it on. Once you have the whole design in place, you will be placing it on your sign. Now I'm letting this dry a little while, and then I'm going to trim the edges. I cut the paper bigger than the board itself. I put down a fine layer of Mod Podge. Then I used my Mod Podge roller. Okay, see, it's finished cutting. So now I'm going to select cut again. It's all in the same place, so it's just going to cut it and make it easier for me to lift it. And again, if I used quality paper, vinyl paper, I wouldn't have to do that. But because the black is not quality and my cutter, my knife needs replacing, I just feel better cutting it a second time. So after I lift it off the paper and turn it onto the transfer paper, then I'm going to take the transfer paper, put it on top of here, and rub it in place. I'm just transferring it on. When I first got my cutter, I had no one to show me how to use it, so I did not know that you had to use transfer paper. So I was peeling off bits and pieces and placing them in place myself, which that was really stupid. But again, I had never had one. I bought the machine online from a company in Texas because there were no Brother dealers near me, and I also got free shipping. So the thing with that, it's kind of teach yourself how to use it, because they're not going to teach you. Okay? Alright, so it's telling me 3 minutes. So basically you have a solid piece here. It's just cutting out the outline of the pieces that you're going to be using. I'm going to first pull off the black, because that's the main part of the design. Because I had to break this up into 3 pieces, I want the largest part of the design to go onto the transfer tape first. So then I can pick them up, pick up the rest of the pieces off of this. Now I use black for the lettering, and the lettering says, "Cardinals appear when angels are near." And then I have my red cardinal, and then I have a brown branch that the cardinal sits on. This design was purchased from a gentleman on Etsy. I will, when I go back and I edit, I will give you the link to his Etsy store. I think it was only like a couple of dollars, like maybe $3. But what I liked about this design, he allows you the commercial use. So I can use this design without having to pay a licensing fee, and I can make as many signs as I want and sell them because I already have the commercial license for it. So it's telling me we've got 1 minute left, guys. But see how quiet this is? I can run this, and not disturb the family. You just pretty much need space for this vinyl mat to shoot out the back. That's why it's always good to have it on a nice firm table with plenty of room. And if I wasn't fighting the tackiness on this mat, it would be a lot easier. But hopefully the new mat will be here tomorrow. I just didn't want to make this a part of my live tonight because I know this is going to take a lot of time, and I didn't want it to cut into the design of my wreath. Okay, so now it's all done. So now what you're going to do is you're going to lift off your pieces. So there's my black. I doubt that you can see it. You'll be able to see it better when I weed out the background that I don't need. So why don't I just start with that first? All right. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to save this to my machine. That's what I like nice about this too. It saves everything in the machine. Save to my machine. So next time I want to run this, I don't have to go to my computer. I can go right to the machine and pull it off the machine. Okay? It's saving it in memory. So I don't need the machine now, so I can turn it off. And what's nice about this collapses down. You've got storage under here for your tools and for your markers and such. Oh, I don't want that on top of that. But it ended up on top of that. And a good thing with the tape is going to hold it on my mat in place so I can pull off what I don't want. Let's get stuck on one of the letters. Not where I want it stuck. Now sometimes to get it started, you have to use your tool to hold down the letters until you get a good bit of it pulling up for you. This is always the hardest part of the design, but if you wiggle it back and forth, you can get it coming right up. Again, the black was not a good quality black. As you can tell, I'm going to have trouble with the black the whole way through this. But we'll get it. Patience. Okay. And sometimes you have to hold it in different places. Now by rocking it back and forth, what I mean is you're going to go one way with it, and then you're going to go another way with it. Need to move the tape. And what's nice about it too, if you ruin a piece, it's okay. You can go back and just pull out that letter and just cut that letter and add it in. It's just real tedious, so it may take me a little while here. But what I like about it, it's handmade, you know, and you guys have seen me posting a lot of stuff about handmade. Sometimes is expensive, but it's worth it. Sometimes what I'll do, if I got a good hold on it, I will cut the excess so I don't have all this in my hand to deal with. I need the dot to the eye. Stay where it was. See, look how easy that lifts up once you get it going. But sometimes it takes a while for that to happen. Now, cut this off because we got small letters here. So yeah, poke a hole and then I go back and I hold it in place and pull. That's the best way to do it. There we go. And see, I reduced this because I wanted my sign to be a certain size, so by doing that I also made the letters smaller, so this part of the design is going to be a little difficult. But it's coming. Okay, we got the word appear. Now, word when. I lost some of the W. Let's get it back. Well, the word when, I think I'm going to have to repeat. And maybe, since it's all by itself there, I will go ahead and make it a little bigger. But that's the beauty of this. I can pick out pieces. Come on. See, I hate this black. It's not friendly when removing the letters. I will never buy it again. Now sometimes your letters are positioned a little funny, so you just have to go back and reposition it. Like one end of it will lift up. Screwed up the word near too. Alright, we'll have to go back and make those two letters. Those two words. But that's okay. Now there's some little pieces in the middle of the words, like the middle of the A, the E, and so on. So all I'm doing is going back and removing those. What I will do is I will put this on the transfer paper and show you, and then I'll go back and put those two words in. I'm holding down the top of the letter and pulling at the space in the middle to remove the inside of the letter. See how that just pulls right up? Trying to rush for time purposes, and this is not something that you can rush, so I should know better. See, I use the sticky to hold the debris I'm pulling off, because it can stick to your fingers, it can stick everywhere. Holding down part of the letter with my thumb and then using the hook to take the inside of the letters out. think what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that little spot that came out of the other word there. So when I go to put it in place, I will know where it goes. Now this is the transfer tape. All right. So all I'm doing is trying to keep it level here. Using this little item. I forget what this is called, but I got this on Oracle 651. And what it has a straight edge. So when I do this, I've already applied all the letters to the transfer tape. I know you can't see it. Okay, so next I will pull out the branch, because the branch will go next. Now watch how easy this is going to pull up. Watch it make a liar out of me. I've got the beak in here too. That's why I'm being real careful. See how you just like rock it back and forth? That's how you're supposed to work a design, and this is how it's supposed to pull out for you. There we go. And like I said, with this quality paper, it usually works really good. See? All right. Now we're going to put this in place. And I'm going to go back to the picture. Okay. Let's see. Well, I've got everything on there. I've got the wording, I've got the branch. Now all I have to worry about is putting the Cardinal on and putting her in place. See? Oops, that's the back of the transfer tape. We want that. Got a little piece of Scotch tape on here. There. Now, I'm going to try and match this up with the beak. Be a little, there we go. Alright, let's put it back on here. Yep, branch is not coming up. Again, you want to do your rocking back and forth. Got a stubborn piece there, it doesn't want to attach. There we go. Still stubborn. Come on. Needs a little bit of encouragement here. There we go. Thank you. don't know why, now it's fighting me.
Going down to the appointment.
All right. Sorry, that was my husband. That's supposed to stick to that paper. It's supposed to come up. Ugh. We're going to make it come up. There we go. You guys saw it. It was stuck the first time. It's not supposed to stick to this backing. Sometimes it just needs a little bit of encouragement, I guess. Come on. Always on a live. Come on. It's not supposed to stick to this backing, and it's sticking to it. Ha! I flipped it over. Ha! That's why it's sticking. It's the back side of the paper, not the sticky side of the paper. Oh, man. That's what happened. Well, alright. This is what we're going to do. We're going to get what we can get up. And then the rest, we're just going to redo. Which is probably going to end up being the whole sign. Love it. Oh, I had such good intentions this morning. If we can get half of the sign to stick. I put it on the back of the paper, the wrong side of the paper. That's why it's sticking. But look, I'm getting it. Because it thinks it's on the sign now, and that's why it's sticking. Well, at least I'm teaching you what not to do. Make sure you got the shiny side of the paper up when you go to, because otherwise it would pull right up and then just stick right to the paper, the scrapbook paper. If I can get half of it, I'll do the others later. But that's why it's sticking. When I was rubbing it, was just making it stick even more. Now you need your legs, Miss Cardinal. So stay there. Okay, anyhow, what you would do is you would put this down in place and rub it. And when you rub it, it will stick to the sign. Let me see if I can get the branch up. If I can get the branch to come up with the cardinal, at least we can get half of the design on it. Oh yeah, we can do this. We can do this. All right. So, let's see. So we're just trying to judge where I need this. Okay. See, here's where your wiggling comes into play. Just back and forth, back and forth. Well, there's part of the sign. We're going to get the when angels are near on there. And then what I do is once I have all my lettering on there, then I put another coat of the Mod Podge on there. All right. There's the beginning of our sign. I'll go ahead and I'll do the rest of the letters. Unless I can get this up. We'll try and get those up too. But there you go. That's how you do it. Sorry, I messed up. That's been my middle word this week. All right, guys. At least I show you kind of how to make the sign. Look for this on my live tonight. It's going in a wreath. And might not be a wreath. We don't know yet. All right. Have a good day. Thank you.